Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber CCISO Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the exam with focused explanations and practical context. Network security is a foundational layer of any enterprise cybersecurity strategy. It acts as the central conduit through which data flows, access is granted, and controls are enforced. From user authentication to application access and data transmission, nearly all business processes depend on secure network infrastructure. For this reason, the security of networks is directly tied to business resilience, regulatory compliance, and uptime assurance. A well-protected network prevents unauthorized access, safeguards sensitive data from exfiltration, and defends against service disruptions such as denial of service attacks. In a defense-in-depth architecture, network controls act as both protective and detective layers, bridging endpoint, identity, and cloud security. For the CISO, network security is not a technical afterthought. It is a strategic domain requiring investment, measurement, and alignment with enterprise risk management. As the executive responsible for security strategy, the CISO defines the strategic objectives of the organization's network defense posture. These objectives typically include segmentation for containment, visibility for anomaly detection, and access control for identity assurance. The CISO must approve investments in core infrastructure such as firewalls, network detection tools, and remote access technologies. Coordination with IT, infrastructure, and cloud teams ensures that policy and technology are consistently applied across all environments. The CISO is also accountable for monitoring the performance and effectiveness of network security, using dashboards and reports to validate control coverage, detect gaps, and communicate progress. Most importantly, the CISO must drive the prioritization of network risk mitigation as part of broader enterprise risk reduction goals, ensuring that business-critical systems are protected with the appropriate technical safeguards. At the technology level, core network security solutions form the building blocks of protection. Next-generation firewalls, or NGFWs, filter traffic based on stateful inspection, application awareness, and user identity. Intrusion detection and prevention systems, or IDS/IPS, provide real-time monitoring of traffic for known and unknown threats. Network access control, or NAC, restricts devices from connecting to the network unless they meet predefined criteria such as antivirus status or patch level. Virtual private networks, or VPNs, enable encrypted access for remote users, while Zero Trust Network Access, or ZTNA, enforces identity-aware policies that grant access only after context has been validated. Load balancers and DDoS protection solutions help maintain availability under high load or attack conditions. The CISO must understand the role of each of these components and ensure that they are deployed, configured, and maintained in alignment with risk tolerance and business needs. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Segmentation is one of the most effective network security strategies. By dividing the network into separate zones, organizations limit the ability of attackers to move laterally after gaining access. Segmentation can be applied by function, sensitivity, or compliance requirements. For example, separating PCI-regulated systems from general IT infrastructure. Microsegmentation takes this a step further by enforcing policies at the host or workload level, often through software-defined networking tools. In zero-trust environments, microsegmentation ensures that each communication is evaluated based on identity, device posture, and policy. The principle of least privilege applies to network communications just as it does to user permissions. Effective segmentation reduces the blast radius of an incident and provides structured containment. For the CISO, segmentation is both a technical and governance issue, requiring cross-functional planning and regular review. Visibility into network activity is essential for threat detection, incident response, and compliance. This requires continuous monitoring of traffic through tools such as span ports, taps, and NetFlow or IP fix collectors. These sources provide granular insight into flow patterns, protocol usage, and volume anomalies. Data from these tools must be integrated with SIEM platforms for correlation with endpoint, identity, and behavioral indicators. SSL inspection adds another layer by decrypting traffic to detect threats that hide inside encrypted sessions. Packet capture tools enable forensic analysis and root cause identification during investigations. Network visibility also includes detection of rogue devices, policy violations, and data exfiltration attempts. The CISO must ensure that visibility is comprehensive, minimally intrusive, and structured for alerting, investigation, and reporting. Authentication and access control within the network are enforced through several mechanisms. Common protocols include Radius, TACAX+, and LDAP for device and user authentication. Multi-factor authentication should be required for administrative access to network infrastructure. NAC solutions can enforce dynamic policy based on endpoint posture, location, or role. Identity-aware firewalls and policy engines use roles to define which users or devices can access which resources across network zones. Privileged access to routers, switches, and firewalls must be tightly controlled, logged, and monitored. These access decisions should also be included in change management workflows and subject to periodic review. The CISO ensures that access control policies are consistently applied and that exceptions are documented and approved at the appropriate level. In cloud and hybrid environments, network security strategies must evolve to meet new architectural patterns. Cloud-nav firewalls, web application firewalls, WAFs, and transit gateways provide boundary and traffic control for cloud-based workloads. Segmentation must be enforced not only within cloud platforms, but also between on-premises and cloud environments. Zero-trust principles guide access control between services and tenants. Security teams must monitor both east-east traffic between cloud instances and north-south traffic entering and exiting the cloud environment. Cloud environments often follow a shared responsibility model where the cloud service provider secures the infrastructure while the organization secures its own configurations. The CISO must define security expectations, enforce governance policies, and ensure visibility across all cloud traffic, regardless of platform. Network security must also align with organizational policy and compliance frameworks. The access control policy, network usage policy, and remote access policy must all reflect how network security is implemented and enforced. Regulatory mandates such as ISO 271, NIST SP 853, PCI DSS, and HIPAA require specific network controls such as traffic monitoring, segmentation, and logging. All firewall rule changes, access control decisions, and system modifications should be documented, approved, and auditable. Regular audits, vulnerability assessments, and penetration tests provide validation that policies are enforced and that gaps are being addressed. The CISO is responsible for ensuring that these policies are clear, communicated, and regularly updated based on evolving threats and business needs. Measuring the effectiveness of network security controls requires well-defined metrics. These may include the number of blocked threats, the number of rule or configuration changes, system uptime, and the mean time to detect MTTR or respond MTTR to an incident. Policy violations and anomaly investigations should be tracked and used as input for continuous improvement. SLAs with service providers or internal teams must be monitored to ensure that performance goals are met. Dashboards should present network security metrics in formats suitable for executives, technical leaders, and compliance officers. The data should support risk reporting, drive budget discussions, and demonstrate the ROI of security investments. The CISO uses these metrics to prioritize controls, respond to governance inquiries, and ensure alignment with business objectives. On the SEC exam, network security is tested through terminology, scenario-based decision-making, and strategic planning. Candidates must be familiar with concepts such as segmentation, IDS, IPS, VPN, ZTNA, and NAC. Scenario questions may ask how to respond to a breach in a segmented environment, how to enforce access policies in a hybrid network, or how to select controls based on compliance needs. The CISO's responsibilities in this domain include aligning network strategy with risk management, ensuring tool integration with broader security functions, and tracking the effectiveness of controls across environments. Network security connects with incident response, audit, and governance programs, making it a cross-domain discipline essential for certification readiness. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal CyberCISO Prepcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com.